Today I'm going to discuss hard money versus private money. People ask me what is the difference between the two, and in my mind there's a huge difference between the two. Okay, we'll start off with hard money. Now some people consider private money hard money. I don't consider it that way, and the reason is at those rates that's hard. That's why they call it hard money. However, what they usually do is people borrow money from private individuals at about 8% interest, and they relend it out to whoever, flippers or so, at 12% interest, and that's why it's hard money, and they consider that private money. I don't consider that private money at all, because you're borrowing it at the end user at about 15%. Now, let me go into the difference here between hard money and private money. Hard money, you have high interest rates. Interest rates are usually between about 9 and 15%. Okay, you also have points and fees, and those are high. Those are usually between 3 and 7%. So you can see the money gets used up pretty quick here. It also has low loan-to-value ratios of about 65%. Now you can borrow under 65%, no problem. However, more than 65%, they're not going to lend it to you. You're going to have to come in with 35% equity one way or another. Okay, we also want to use hard money only for short-term money, because if it's long-term like a mortgage, it's going to kill you at a 15% rate. Those go back to the Ronald Reagan days in 1981 when they put a whole halt to the market by charging super high interest rates. And it worked. It got inflation way down. Now, let's talk about private money a little bit. Private money has affordable interest rates. Okay, they're usually between 4 and 6%. See the difference between that and 15%? Your payment's going to be about 1/3 of what it was. It's now become affordable. Next is there's no points. To get the loan, we don't have to pay the points. When you're borrowing from private money, they don't charge points. You borrow from an institutional lender or hard money, they charge points. That's how they make their profit. Okay. Also, on the private money, we get loan-to-value ratios of 100% or more. Now, why would somebody lend more than 100%? Sometimes you need extra money to pay commissions, or you need extra money to fix up the property, something like that. You can get that with private money. They'll lend you, if it's a $100,000 house, they'll lend you $100,000 for the house, and probably even another 10 grand for the renovations, something to that effect. So there's much more. Now you're into it for no money. Okay. Now, you also, because you're negotiating on the private money directly with the person one-on-one, you can get much better terms. You can work out deals and have delayed payments. Let's say you need the money for 1 year to buy a place, fix it up, and unload it. Then, therefore, you can get something with delayed payments. In other words, no payments at all until the end of the project. They'll add the interest back on to the principal, and you just pay it all at one time. Another thing you can do is sometimes if you're borrowing from relatives, you can get no interest. Depends on where their money is and how astute they are with their money. Most people who have money in savings account are probably getting 1% now. So if you offered them 4%, you're quadrupling their money basically. Okay. Another thing is, on the private money, they can close quickly. Usually that money is in some sort of liquid form. They can go down and get it the next day. They might have to go to their wherever they have their stocks and bonds, whatever company they're using, and get the money from them. And that might take up to a week and that kind of thing. But it's very quick money is what I'm getting to. Whereas back to the hard money, if you're using institutional lenders, they want credit reports, they want appraisals, they want everything. So that takes time. And it might take them up to 30 days just to do the hard money loan. Okay. When I'm doing a private money, I've never had anybody ask for the appraisals. I've never had anybody ask for a credit report or any of that stuff. Usually they just give you money. Because what they're doing is they're lending money to you, not the project. Okay, now, where do we get this money? Because we have to find the money. Okay, number one, we're going to find it from friends and relatives. These are people we know, people that they know what you do. They just happen to have some money and believe in you, so they will lend money to you at the very inexpensive rates. Okay, another place you can go is to paid sources. Okay, they have companies now that go down to the county recorder, and they sit there all day and they write down everything that's getting recorded. They take that back, they compile the data, and then they sell it. I belong to a service that pays $49.99 a month. and they go down to the courthouse for me and get all the records, all the foreclosures, all the divorces, all the things that I'm looking for in a property. Okay, now, however, when you're down there looking, you got to make sure of one thing, and that is that the name of the beneficiary is not the same as the previous owner. And the reason for that is that's a carryback note. So he never really put up any cash. He sold his $100,000 house down and he got $20,000 cash, and he got an $80,000 note that pays him $800 a month, something to that effect. Okay, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for something that Joe Smith lent money to Bob Jones on a house, and he actually put the cash up because he had the cash to put up. It wasn't a carryback. Okay. Next is they have peer-to-peer websites. These are people who are looking for money and other people that want to lend money. And one of them is called Kickstarter.com. There's a few of them out there. The one that I'm familiar with is Kickstarter.com. You can probably Google them and probably 10 more will show up. Okay, social media. Here's another good place. That is Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. You can go on to those and try to match people with money. They have discussion groups, and people will put in there saying they have money to lend. Other people are going into discussion groups and they need money for a project. So that's what I mean by social media. Then there's always the old-fashioned way, which is direct mail. This is the one that I started with. I would send letters out, 50 letters a day, that type of thing, see what kind of response I could get back. Those are when I sent the letters myself. There's also something called click to mail. That is actually the post office. And what they will do all the work. All you do is put in there what you want on a letter, what you want on a postcard, etc. They put it all on there. They send it out. And it's about 50 cents a postcard to do all the work and have them do everything. But you're doing nothing. You're just sitting back and picking up a phone and answering when somebody calls. Okay, the last one here is professional marketing services. Personally, I've never used one of these. I've used these two at the top here exclusively. I have never used a professional marketing. More of the bigger companies go to those. I'm not sure they can do a better job than we do, but you can pay them better, that's for sure. Anyway, that is where to find a quick rundown on where to find private money. If you need to know more about real estate or loans, etc., you can go up to my youtube.com, hashtag Floydloans. Make sure you put the hashtag Floydloans in there, because there's a whole bunch of Floyds. Then there's Facebook, Floyd Loans, Twitter, @Floydloans, and then Floyd at woodrumfinancial.com if you need to get a hold of me. If you need to know any more information, you can always PM me on Facebook or email me, and I'll hook you up as best I can.